Recently, I got nostalgic of older Mario games and came across Mario Kart 7 for the Nintendo 3DS. A game that I had plenty of hours in, but then it all kicked in. I could barely remember anything of this game, and no wonder. No one really talks of this game when discussing Mario Kart nowadays. Almost every installment gets praised for their excellent innovations or how fun they are to play, even today, but there's an exception. Mario Kart 7 is the most forgettable Mario Kart title to date, which is kinda amusing considering that it sold almost 19 million copies. In fact, that is more copies than Wii U did, for fuck's sake. So how could it be so forgettable then? Well, I'm here to answer that question today. Let's do this. I'm a huge Mario fan, more specifically a Mario Kart fan. So when in summer 2011 I saw a trailer announcement for a new Mario Kart game releasing for the 3DS, I was ecstatic. I was especially excited to experience those, at the time, brand new mechanics that were showcased on the trailer. Gliding, underwater driving, and extensive kart customization felt like a natural evolution for these games, and I could not wait to get my hands on the game. Needless to say, I got a beautiful red Nintendo 3DS and a physical copy of Mario Kart 7 that Christmas. Thanks Santa, and I spent the rest of 2011 just binging the game all day long. But after finishing the game, I felt quite disappointed. Yes, I enjoyed my time with the game, but I couldn't stop thinking that, oh well, it's just yet another Mario Kart game, and I still can't believe it. After all, I was so excited for this game before it came out. So how does the game hold up in 2022, or is it even worse? Well, look no further. Let's boot up the game.
Mario Kart, here we go!
Upon opening the game, we see 4 menu options: single player, local and online multiplayer, as well as a Mario Kart channel. I cannot really talk about the multiplayer aspect as I recorded my gameplay off of Citra due to my lack of 3DS capture card, but the online portion of the game still has a VR system that was introduced in Mario Kart V, and you will be placed into lobbies based on your VR level. Also, when it comes to local multiplayer, you can actually play with friends through 3DS's download play without them needing a copy of the game, which is always nice. But with Mario Kart Channel, we can already experience the few downgrades from Wii's installment. No longer can players participate in different tournaments or have their own downloadable channel on 3DS's software menu like Wii did. I gotta say, when I was like 9 years old, without an access to Wii's eShop or other online features, obtaining a fresh channel onto my Wii menu was the coolest shit ever. So certainly I was disappointed when they removed this feature from 3DS's installment. Players can receive Ghost Time Trial Laps through 3DS's Spot Pass and Street Pass, in addition to customizing your online crating and your Mii that you can play with. While I think these features themselves are pretty good, and I'm sure that plenty of people enjoy this addition, for me it was a heavy downgrade. In my country, no one really went outside with their 3DSs, so getting a Street Pass match with a stranger was nigh impossible. But obviously, Mario Kart 7 is a 3DS title, so of course it was expected to have less features than Mario Kart Wii that was released for the home console, even if the Wii itself wasn't that powerful. So I can accept any technical downgrades we got, but surely it would at least surpass Mario Kart DS when it comes to content in a game, so I cannot wait to experience it again. Let's check it out. Well shit. Yeah, so Mario Kart 7 only has 4 single player modes to offer. Or technically it has 3, as the battle mode itself has been divided into 2 on the mode select. As most of you could tell by now, versus mode is completely missing from the game. I personally never understood this design choice, considering that every single Mario Kart title since Mario Kart 64 has had 4 modes to choose from. Even Super Circuit did. And comparing this selection to Mario Kart DS, a game from 2005, makes Mario Kart 7's mode select look empty in comparison. Battle modes were also heavily downgraded from Mario Kart DS's basically perfect versions. Coin Battle is essentially Shine Runners or Coin Runners, but with smaller stages, and it is a fine mode as it is. But Balloon Battle has clearly seen better days. Mario Kart V introduced a time limit onto Balloon Battle, which meant players wouldn't be fighting till the death, but till the time runs out. But I could accept this design choice as Mario Kart V had 12 driver slots, thus potentially making every session a snooze fest. Additionally, the 2-minute time limit didn't feel that bad as Mario Kart V's battle stages were massive compared to older battle stages and morphed during the gameplay, so it still felt fresh to play. But in Mario Kart 7, time limit is still present and available stages are mostly small, close-quarter arenas with barely any cover. Additionally, new stages didn't differ that much from each other to be that special on their own rights, except for Honeybee Hive that is hexagonal from its design and has a large fan in the middle that blows players to other sections of the stage. And when it comes to gameplay, oh boy, Mario Kart 7 continues with Mario Kart V's changes by making balloons in Balloon Battle completely pointless. When you lose your last balloon, you will respawn. And while you can obtain new balloons by speeding onto other players with a mushroom like before, there aren't lifelines like in Mario Kart DS or all the games where you would be eliminated if you ran out of balloons. So my question is, why is Balloon Battle still called Balloon Battle if you could remove balloons entirely and it wouldn't make any difference to the core design? Gone are the good old days when you actually had to blow onto your DS's microphone to obtain more balloons, making you sound like an absolute maniac. But well, if this is the lowest of lows in the Mario Kart franchise, there's no way Nintendo could make it any worse in later installments. Right? Right? Anyway, before going into any further detail about the game, we need to discuss the elephant in the room, gameplay. Is it any good? Well, it's alright. Mario Kart 7 feels good to drive. It is now easier than ever to make turns and drifting is probably the best from the series released so far. New game mechanics are also really refreshing. When drivers touch water, the kart automatically assembles a propeller behind it, and based on official artwork, drivers hold their breath during the whole underwater section. During these underwater sections, driving physics are slightly altered. Handling and speed are changed depending on the kart parts you picked. For example, Egg 1 becomes faster on the sea than land. These underwater sections are however scripted, as going underwater on certain tracks still charms the player, like in Daisy Hills and Makavuhu. Out of 16 new tracks, 15 of them have blue ramps that allows the player to assemble a glider onto their kart. During these sections, the player peacefully glides at the air until landing that disembarks the glider. Players can control their movement mid-air, as well as having an effect on their speed mid-air. Pretty cool concept, but my problem with gliding sections overall is that most of the time they're designed to fill an otherwise boring part of the track. For example, take Rock Mountain, where if you would replace the gliding section with a normal boost ramp, we would have mostly uninteresting terrain with a linear straight road until we are blessed with an accelerating uphill boulder section. Then again, this track was created with gliding in mind, so whatever. That being said, I liked it when the gliding replaced cannon sections on Airship Fortress, Maple Treeway and Waluigi Pinball. It just works. All these things considered, as long as gliding doesn't take a significant portion of the track, I'm fine with it as a gimmick, even if I honestly prefer the flying mechanic in Sonic and the All-Stars Racing Transformed. Tricking system, or the stunting system, as you may also call it, also returns from Mario Kart V. Stunt ramps are gone, probably to not confuse them with gliding ramps, so player can only trick from boost ramps and trick specific bumps that are presumably hard-coded into the game. Oddly enough, directional tricking is completely missing, as characters now only have 2 tricking animations that play regardless of the player's D-pad input. Unfortunate part of this is that the animations seem kinda lifeless compared to the energetic animations from Mario Kart V. But players can rejoice! Shaking your remote no longer is needed, as tricks are executed with the right bumper. Hooray!
Oh my.
Speaking of shaking your remote, Mario Kart 7 also lets players enable gyro controls to emulate Wiimote's wheel mechanic. But in all seriousness, why would you ever play like this? Let me know in the comments if you had 3-starred every cup in this game with gyro controls. Kart customization was one of the main selling points in this game, and it does exactly what you would expect. Every kart, tire, and glider that you can unlock by collecting a specific amount of coins have their own stats, so karts thankfully are no longer locked behind a specific weight class, similarly to Mario Kart DS. And honestly, while I don't like the RNG factor behind unlocking these items, I really like this feature in the game, as no longer are players just running a specific character with a specific kart or bike online. Now it's just you're running a specific character. Bikes are completely missing from this game though, which is a huge shame, as Mario Kart 7 is still severely lacking in the amount of pieces you can unlock. I have every single part unlocked, apart from the golden card and the golden glider, so I can confidently say that this is not enough, even for a handheld title. I'm still happy that we saw a return of old school kart parts with a B-Dasher, Egg 1, Barrel Train and Pipe Frame. Also, when it comes to items, we have 3 new additions this time around: Fire Flower, Super Leaf and Lucky 7. With Fire Flower, players can shoot fireballs forward or backwards in order to hit other drivers. If a fireball connects to another driver, they spin out and lose the momentum slightly. Fire Flower lasts for 10 seconds after first activating it, but it can also run out after throwing 10 fireballs. Fireball damage doesn't cause iframes for drivers either, so upon getting hit by a fireball, drivers can also get hit by other power-ups or another fireball. It is fairly effective against a group of other drivers, but it also requires you to aim the fireball, so hit isn't always guaranteed, like with the red shell. Overall, a pretty good power-up that I'm surprised wasn't added any sooner. After all, Fire Flower is one of the most iconic power-ups in Mario history. Super Leaf was also added, probably due to making an appearance in Super Mario 3D Land and later in New Super Mario Bros. 2. But this one really sucks. Once activated, your kart obtains a Tanuki leaf that you can use to deflect upcoming shells with, as well as push bananas away from your path. However, there is a catch. Tanuki tail lasts for 10 seconds, and during this time you cannot discard it unless you get hit by other items. And as your probability of obtaining Super Leaf is higher when you're at higher positions, you will probably come across it plenty of times when defending a lead, for example. The reality is that if you're second or third, you would probably much rather have a red shell or even a green shell that you can use for attacking, and even on first place, having a projectile is pretty useful. If you have a Super Leaf on your inventory, you cannot get another item until it has worn off, which makes you very vulnerable for attacks if you cannot get another item right away. And as expected, it cannot protect you from Spiny Shell. That leaves the item in a pretty underwhelming state. Yes, you can use it for your advantage, but in most cases, I would prefer a red shell, thanks. At least Nintendo realized that this item was very mediocre, so it was replaced with the Piranha bot in Mario Kart 8. Lastly, there's Lucky 7. It is a player-exclusive item that gives you 7 powerful items that you can then use to cause mayhem all over the track. No complaints on this one, it does exactly that you would expect it to do. Just be careful to not use it near other drivers, as they can snatch your star pretty easily. Oh yeah, and players love this item so much that Nintendo introduced Crazy 8 for Mario Kart 8, which is essentially the same item with an addition of... wait, a fucking coin? Speaking of coins, coins also made a return in Mario Kart 8 as obtainable items. Thankfully in this game, you cannot get it from item boxes, but rather from collecting them from the course. They are kinda useless, you really only use them to collect new kart parts. But hey, if you collect 10 coins like in Super Mario Kart, you will receive a speed boost. Any other changes to items are that Spiny Shell no longer has wings, and victims of lightning can now also be squished if run over by normal-sized drivers, and that's a decent quality of life change. But overall, I feel like the item selection is kinda It's okay, but nothing too remarkable. Now, let's see the character roster, which is usually the most exciting part of these games. And yeah, it's a mixed bag. A new player has access to 8 starting characters. Starting roster is essentially a copy-paste from Mario Kart DS's starting roster, but instead of Wario being available from the start, Koopa Troopa is now a starter character, like in Super Mario Kart. There are also 8 unlockable characters that you can unlock by winning each 150cc Grand Prix. Additionally, your Mii also becomes unlockable after completing every cup in any CC range. Characters that make a return from earlier titles are Wario, Daisy and Rosalina, 3 that have become staples to Mario spin-offs at this point. Furthermore, Shy Guy, who was only available for Mario Kart DS's download play, is now also unlockable. Well, that leaves us with 4 brand new characters that made their first appearance in this game, which makes the roster a whopping 17, which is pretty good amount for a handheld title. Enter Lucky 2, who finally makes his first racer appearance in this game after being the lap count man for over a decade. Wiggler also makes its first appearance, which certainly is a strange character pick, but hey, I'm not one to judge. After all, Wiggler wiggling its legs is pretty funny looking. Then we have... this thing. Yes, Honey Quinn from Super Mario Galaxy makes her first and so far only Mario Kart appearance in this game. Yes, she's not in Mario Kart Tour, thank fuck. And what can I say, this was probably the most bizarre roster choice made in a video game after the inclusion of Pyra and Mitra for Smash Bros. But in all honesty, I wouldn't even be mad of her inclusion, as she was still an intriguing character in Galaxy game. And she makes this game's roster unique in a way. If it wasn't for the last character chosen for this game. Yeah, that's right, there's a character even worse in this game than Honey Queen, a character that is an insult to any proper Mario fan out there. So who could it be? Mario. This fucking character actually drives me insane. Okay, hear me out. Mario Kart 7 introduced Metal Mario as the last playable character. He's basically Mario but in his metal form. Thing is that he's not just a metallic Mario. He actually has different cooler animations than Mario, as well as altered voice lines. It's pretty clear that Nintendo wanted to have a character that could act as a metallic rival to Mario, similar to Sonic series' Metal Sonic. But holy shit, this doesn't make any sense. Metal Mario was introduced in Super Mario 64 when Mario obtains a metal cap that makes him metallic for 20 seconds. So why is he a separate entity to Mario himself? Does Mario's personality change when he uses a metal cap or something? And yes, I'm completely aware this isn't the first game where Metal Mario was a playable character. After all, he made his first appearance in Mario Golf as an unlockable, and also Super Smash Bros. 64 and Melee he was a boss fight on arcade mode. But the reason I think his addition was a bad idea was because he started the craze of having alternate versions of characters take up roster slots in future Mario spin-offs, when you could have filled that slot with someone else. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe introduces Gold Mario, Baby Rosalina, Tanuki Mario, Cat Peach and a fucking pink gold Peach. If you find this even slightly insulting, please do not look at the character roster for Mario Kart Tour. Actually, whatever, I will show them on the screen right now. These costume swaps could have very easily been just, well, costume swaps in Mario Kart 8, similarly to color swaps of Yoshi's and Shy Guys in that game. But in a handheld title with less processing power, reusing Mario with a slightly changed appearance is extremely lazy. That is when you realize that Waluigi of all characters isn't playable in this game, when his own course, Waluigi Pinball from Mario Kart DS is playable as a retro track. Who thought this was a good idea? In fact, why not show you a list of at the time relevant characters that could have made into the game instead? Starting now. How about the track selection? Well, they're okay. I don't think there's a single bad track in the game, but I feel like Nintendo played pretty safe with these additions. The game has 16 new Nitro Tracks and 16 Retro Tracks from all the games, but out of these 32 tracks, only few really stand out for me. From Retro Pool, obvious ones are Coconut Mall and Waluigi Pinball. But from the new tracks, the only track I can really think of is Rainbow Road. But I will talk about it in a bit. Sure, music is consistently good as expected from a Mario Kart title or a Mario game in general, and the track design is fun enough for anyone to enjoy, but these tracks don't really stand out that well. This game introduced a section mechanic, where instead of driving 3 laps on the same track, one huge track was split into 3 sections. This feature is showcased very well in Flower Cup's first track, Woohoo Loop, where an entirety of a Woohoo Island is split into 3 sections. Yeah, you heard me right. Mario Kart 7 has 3 stages placed on Woohoo Island. Aforementioned Woohoo Loop, Maka Woohoo from Star Cup and Woohoo Town from Battle Mode. And even today, for me, it's just astonishing that they put this place in the game. It's just incredible. But the section mechanic was demonstrated absolutely perfectly in Mario Kart 7's Rainbow Road. This track is an absolute masterpiece. It has a perfect mix of difficulty and fun factor, so driving on it doesn't feel tedious or overly difficult. But it also isn't painfully easy. You get to drive on Saturn's rings and even on the moon of all places, which has a chain jump in a loose. And to end it all off with a gorgeous gliding section and uphill tight corner to the finish. This track's music is also absolutely fantastic. You can really feel the emotion as you glide and dash through vast space, completely free of Earth's gravity and problems. There are also 2 different variations to this track's theme song. An electronic song that also includes an arrangement of Nintendo 64's Rainbow Road that plays during sections 1 and 2, and then a peaceful and mystical variation that plays when on the moon. Also, when the driver enters the last section, instead of looping the song from the start, it starts from higher pitched alteration of Nintendo 64 arrangement to signal you that your journey is finally coming to an end. There are also some hidden good pieces on Nitro Track selection. Firstly, I gotta mention Music Park, a track that is probably the most unique of the bunch. You get to drive on top of multiple instruments like piano, xylophone and drums, and while you drive on those instruments, they actually play into the track's theme song perfectly. Also, I think these music bashes, yes, that's the name I checked from Mario Wiki, illustrate just marvelously how goofy this whole stage is. I also really like Shy Guy Bazaar's Arabian Bazaar theme and all the Easter eggs to Doki Doki Panic or Super Mario Bros. 2, along with Piranha Plant Slide, which is just a really fun course. Also, before mentioned Woohoo tracks need another mention here as they are just really fun to drive, especially Maka Woohoo. They also have a fantastic scenery all around. Apart from these, track selection is pretty lame. None of them are really bad per se, but just boring. For example, Rosalina's Ice World, DK Jungle, and Daisy Hills. If you want a better insight of my opinions of the tracks in this game, look at my tier list shown on the screen right now. When it comes to retro tracks, they are pretty good. This game features fan favorites like Coconut Mall, Waluigi Pinball, Calimari Desert, and Maple Treeway. And considering 3DS's hardware limitations, they were remastered pretty well. Also, the way these tracks utilize gliding and underwater driving to their advantage is pretty smart. For example, Koopa Cave's water tunnel is now completely underwater, but of course there are technical downgrades, like removal of the aforementioned trick ramps and web hazard from Maple Treeway. And of course, the most infamous nerf of them all, you cannot chase the train on Calimari Desert anymore. Also, SNES Rainbow Road was a last circuit for Lightning Cup, which started a trend of Nintendo adding a Rainbow Road track as the final track of Lightning Cup to future games. For example, Mario Kart 8 had N64's Rainbow Road, so Mario Kart 9 would have GBA's Rainbow Road. Only problem with this is that there is no reason to play Mario Kart 7's SNES Rainbow Road anymore, as it is also part of Mario Kart 8 and Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, and you can play those games in 4K. In any case, retro selection is fine, that and music remixes weren't that bad either. But still, doesn't really help driving a case for this game. As if you have carefully observed my gameplay I have shown on this video, it becomes painfully clear that this game is just rehashing Mario Kart V's assets with a new coat of paint. Now, this isn't necessarily a bad thing. Plenty of Nintendo titles like to use pre-existing assets, and they still somehow end up being successful. I mean, Mario Kart Super Circuit is technically a remake of the original Super Mario Kart, so how could I call out Mario Kart 7 for this? Wrong. Super Circuit used completely new assets made from scratch. Instead, what did Mario Kart 7 do? It used Wii's already existing character icons and even music bits like character unlock jingle, an award ceremony theme. Overall, Mario Kart 7 isn't a bad game. It definitely plays well and you can easily have some fun with it, but it is a very soulless addition to the Mario Kart franchise, considering that Mario Kart 8 basically takes everything from it and does it better. It just feels like this game doesn't have its own identity, as even if it experimented with stuff and introduced cool new game mechanics to the franchise, it played way too safe and borrowed stuff from early installments without making a drastic improvement with them. For me and probably many others, Mario Kart 7 is just that one 3DS title that was released 3 years before Mario Kart 8, and damn, that game had a versus mode and Waluigi as a playable character. What else do I need to say? So that's why Mario Kart 7 is a forgettable mess. Thanks for watching.